People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dissociated itself from coalition or merger talks with other opposition parties. It comes after reports that a group of 7 opposition political parties formed a new coalition in a bid to strengthen democracy in the country. But the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Olugwagba, has denied a merger. In a telephone conversation with Arise News, Olugwagba said such a move would require the consent of the party's National Executive Committee, and he said that the PDP is the most organized and democratic party in Nigeria's political history, and that most other parties have their roots in the PDP, hence there is no need for it to go into such a coalition or merger.
Well, joining us now is the National Publicity Secretary of the Young Progressives Party, Wale Martins. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thanks for having me in your studio this evening.
There you are. The PDP is saying, look, there's no need for a merger. So let me begin by asking you, why exactly is this merger become necessary? And who are part of this merger?
I do not know of any merger. My party is not aware of any merger.
Right.
I think it is just a figment of the imagination of a section of the press that is coming up with such spurious speculation about a merger. There's no merger. Politics is over. Now it's governance. And I think that is what the YPP is standing for. We are holding the government in power accountable. We want to hold them to the promises they've made to Nigerians. And that was what informed some political parties with like minds coming together to address a press conference on the state of the nation. And that was it.
Okay, what about an alliance? Because some are saying that, if you don't merge, there's a possibility of an alliance. What about that? Is there any consideration in any quarter about an alliance?
I think we should leave tissues and treat issues. Honestly, I think Nigerians are not happy at all. What the current situation of the state of the nation. I mean, it's as if our leaders are living somewhere else. They're not living in Nigeria. Because the current reality is not about any alliance or coalition or merger. It's about leaders of thought. It's about critical stakeholders, those who believe in projects in Nigeria, to come together and see how they can help the government to deliver governance.
So you say there is no merger, but you had a meeting yesterday, let's call it a meeting, where you represented your party, the YPP, and alongside the NNPP, PDP, AGC, and of course the SDP. What exactly were the particular issues, concrete issues about how to fix Nigeria that you came up with? Or are you saying that you actually planning to become an opposition party, a strong one at that?
There's nothing wrong in like minds coming together to be able to talk about the state of the nation. Actually, what informed our coming together is the current reality in the country, the poverty in the land, the frivolous lifestyles of our political office holders that does not in any way reflect the current reality in the nation. Now, we have leaders who continue to tell Nigerians to try and understand with them and give them time. Yet, in one vein, you are coming up with a budget that you are borrowing money to finance, and you are still the same people that are not ready to be frugal in terms of the management of resources of the nation. Now, this is a nation where everything has skyrocketed. The daily income of Nigerians remains stagnant. And you continue to see leaders living frivolous lifestyles, such as you look at the budget and you look at it and you analyze it critically and you see that, look, this budget is not even for the masses. We continue to see things like you are renovating accommodation for the vice president. Right. You see feeding and stuff like that running into billions. Mm-hmm. You see them buying SUVs. And you are telling Nigerians who are in abject poverty to understand, yet the same government that made us to understand that, look, we are not coming into governance because of the wealth of Nigeria. We are wealthy already, yet they are feeding fat on the wealth of the nation.
So when you had that meeting yesterday, you've told us what informed the meeting, what inspired it. So what recommendations did you come up with after the meeting? Did you have a communique to the government? Did you have certain recommendations to the government?
Of course,
what was the decision, the concrete decision?
We addressed a lot of issues. And number one, we said there should be, government should cut down on the cost of governance drastically. We see that as very, very important, that you can't be borrowing money to fund your budget, and at the same time, you are not addressing the cost of governance. The role you want Nigerians to play will only be complementary to whatever role you as leaders are willing to play. We also are calling on the National Assembly that you are not there to represent yourself, you are representing constituencies. And from those your constituencies, people are suffering. We see no reason for the SUV that you felt was a point of necessity. However, that has been done. But they should look into those budgets critically, line by line, and expunge things that are not important at this moment and face things that will help to improve the lives of Nigerians. We also call on the judiciary also to be up and doing. Judiciary is critical. We can't have a situation where Nigerians will go out and vote during elections. At the end of the day, we still surrender our faith to the judiciary to determine who, is being elected. It doesn't make any sense. And that is where the issue of electoral reform is coming in, where we are also going to be making serious input to see that we have some of the loopholes that has allowed the current shenanigans to be in place.
What are some of those loopholes, that you can tell us from off the top of your head?
Thank you very much. I'm going to be very straight with that. I mean, why should the president with vested interest be appointing the chairman of the electoral of INEC? Appointing commissioners. Do you know those who were actually just appointed recently as commissioners are those that are known party faithfuls of the APC? So what are you expecting? The last election, it wasn't that Beavers failed. It wasn't a failure of Beavers. Right. For every technology is garbage in, garbage out. That is what you impute into the system, that the system will regurgitate. Now, it was as a result of failure of those who are responsible in operating the Beavers. That is the human element. And that is why we see of necessity that, look, there's a need for us to look for a way where we'll take the appointment of these human beings responsible for managing an independent national electoral commission away from the president and have a neutral body that will help us, come up with such. And also we want the issue of transmission of election results, electronic transmission of election results, to become constitutional. It should be an issue of law. It should be made compulsory, not optional.
Thank you very much indeed. Wale Martins, National Publicity Secretary, Young Progressives Party. We just hope that the powers that be will listen to you and then do something about it.
No, they are listening, and we'll continue to hold them accountable.